Soon she'll wake and paint again. Paint a new number, ticking down every year. One stroke, and everyone of that age vanishes into nothingness. Every year she paints again, and every year an expedition departs for the continent with one hopeless mission: destroy the paintress so she can never paint death again.
Clair Obscure Expedition 33 is a turn-based RPG game developed by the French indie studio Sandfall Interactive. This team is only comprised of around 30 people, some of which are ex-devs from big-name studios like Ubisoft. The game came out this year in 2025 and has massively taken off in popularity. It's currently nominated in 12 individual categories for the Game Awards, making it the most nominated game of all time. The game's rich and deep storytelling, along with its phenomenal soundtrack, amazing world building, and great characters are just a few of the reasons why it's seen such success out of nowhere. The game tells a deep story that has themes of family trauma, dealing with grief, and, of course, genocide. From the very moment we start our playthrough, we're introduced to this world's concept of genocide with the paintress. Every year, she gets up from her seat at her monolith and wipes down a number. Once she does, everyone who's that age or older immediately dies. There's no exceptions, and it's absolutely tragic. This event, called the Gommage, is what drives the expeditions forward. This is a group of volunteers who each year leave Lumiere, the last safe city, and go to fight the paintress. No one has ever managed to reach her, and we're hoping to be the first. Throughout our journey, we encounter many different monsters and creatures, most of which are classified as Nevrons. Nevrons are these monsters that kill indiscriminately and just cause chaos. However, we can encounter a group known as the Gestals. These are fun, silly, and not that smart wooden people who look like paintbrushes. To contrast this, their leader, Golgra, is a lot more intelligent. The first time we're introduced to the idea of Golgra is in the Gestral village, where we can see a massive statue of her on top of the chief's house, where she resides. Golgra is a dictator, for lack of better terms. She completely controls what the Gestrals do, she controls the flow of how they go about life, and of course their culture, and they worship her almost like a god or some sort of powerful deity. Because of this, Golgra tends to really only act in her own interests, not that of her people. Golgra is someone who's sometimes our ally, but at times, if our interests aren't aligned, she could be an enemy. During the second act of the game, we can see just how far her tyranny reaches. Player can encounter a completely optional area called the Endless Night Sanctuary. The first time they enter it, the first thing they might notice is that it's surrounded by the bodies of dead Gestrals, planted into the ground and now acting more as trees than people. Eventually, we can encounter an NPC who is friends with the Gestrals who lived here. He tells us that he wrote to Golgra for help with them because they were constantly fighting and he was worried about his friends. Golgra was outraged by the behavior of these Gestrals, not because they were fighting each other, but because they weren't under her control and her ego. Because of that, she slaughtered every single one of them and planted their bodies into the ground. This can only be described as a genocide. These Gestrals, despite not being human, still possess around human-level intellect and deserve to be treated as such because they have emotions and feelings. They have different drives, they have different things they want to accomplish. But Golgra simply snuffed out each of their lives because she could, and because them not being under her control in her specific part of the culture offended her. This is a clear violation of human rights. Genocide is stated as being both a violation of human rights and a violation of international law by the United Nations. Because of this, Golgra would be in violation if she was in the real world. As well as this, it's a completely immoral action. Snuffing out this many lives was completely unnecessary and simply just cruel. Actions like these are still happening in our world today. Take, for example, the Russia and Ukrainian war. Innocents are being killed en masse by weapons that they have no chance to defend themselves against, simply because they don't conform to Russia's culture and under Russia's rule. This is highly immoral and illegal, and yet Russia is getting away with this on the daily basis.